Welcome to Save As Ability, a podcast to educate and inform you about disability employment issues. My name is David D'Arcangelo, and I'm your disability policy expert. Welcome back for another episode of Save As Ability. And we appreciate you and the comments and likes and all the interactions that we've been having. If you can keep that going, it really helps us grow the channel. So if you could like, subscribe, comment, share, it helps us keep great content flowing for you. And we've got great content today. We've got a great guest. We're going to welcome in Mike Hess. Mike, how are you? How's Denver on a spring day?
David D, it's a beautiful day here in the Denver metro area. Going to be about 75 degrees with snow 2 days out. So I love it, love it, love it here in the springtime in the Rockies.
Excellent. Well, welcome in. It's great to have you. We're going to talk a little bit about accessibility. You're really one of the experts here on accessibility. And I want to hear all about, the Blind Institute of Technology. So why don't we turn it right over to you, Mike? Go ahead, give us your about Mike.
It's I don't like being used as expert in anything, David D. That's scary right there. I like to be a practitioner. I like to be a student. There are a lot of things I like to be, but just to throw out expert, and like you and I both know a lot of true experts in our field. I feel like what BIT does is super unique, but my journey, David, is I've been legally blind or blind since kindergarten. So all my adult memories, I know nothing but being legally blind or blind. Traversed the public school system in both Ohio, where I was born, and then finished up here in the Denver metro area where my mom moved my brother and I in the mid 80s. And then went to the community college system, varying degrees of success with that. But then early 90s, IBM was the first tech stack company in the world to fully embrace people with disabilities as a viable talent solution. And they sent out grant dollars to a handful of community colleges across the country. One just happened to be my backyard, Community College of Denver. And they created a workforce development initiative. They didn't call it workforce development back in the day, David, but it's exactly what it was. And it was a training program called Computer Training for People with Disabilities. And I was at another community college. My access teacher said, "Hey, Mike, I know, this might be a good program for you. It's about creating computer programmers." I asked, "What's a computer programmer?" And she was like, she says, "Well, okay. And this is the Wayback Machine, David." She's like, "Well, that program WordPerfect 5.1. And I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Okay, computer programmers make that program." And I'm like, "Oh, let's do it." And then my next question, David, was, how much can I make? I was engaged to a ready-made family at the time. My beautiful bride of almost 30 years now, and our two beautiful daughters. I was engaged to a ready-made family, so I was motivated by the Benjamins, right? So she my access teacher says, "Oh, you're going to make between 25 and 30,000 a year." And this is how long ago that was, David. This is aging myself, but back in the early mid 90s, you could actually rent an apartment. You could buy groceries, and you had enough money for a movie once a month with 25 to 30,000 a year. So
that was decent money. Yeah. I do remember. We're probably around the same era, Mike.
Yeah, it's and the way back, So
that's a great journey in your story. But so you were in the corporate culture, but then what made you want to open up the Blind Institute of Technology? Here we are. I'm just 10 minutes away from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So I got to tell you, you had a nice play on words there, because really what BIT has become, I think, is a leader. I know you're humble about it and you don't want to be considered an expert, but you really are a leader in terms of online accessibility for people with visual impairment. So tell us a little bit about how you got out of that culture and started doing your own thing.
Yeah, it was, I spent almost 20 years in the private sector, David, right? Ended up getting into tech right at the first global tech bubble because of Y2K in the mid 90s. And for those audience members who've never heard of Y2K, Google it. It was a thing. It was a thing, non-thing. But I spent 20 years in the private sector, managing 7-8 figure projects. Did well for myself. I was a 6-figure engineer way before it was cool and trendy just to give anybody a 6-figure career opportunity. And but I was always the token blind person, David. And it wasn't just blindness, right? Like I never with my cane, I never bumped into anybody in a wheelchair, never Neurodivergence wasn't even a topic.
Right.
Never heard of anybody using sign language as their primary means of communication. So, and then I just started doing some research as a good engineer should. Realize there are a lot of good organizations that are out there that serve the blind, low vision community, that serve the broader disability community, but I couldn't find any of them that were addressing the or underemployment epidemic for the blind, low vision community. And so, foolish or courageous, I dove in and started BIT, Blind Institute of Technology, as a nonprofit staffing agency. And so we started making money right away by getting people who are blind, low vision placed in brands like JP Morgan Chase, CVS, Allstate, NBC Universal, Salesforce, DaVita Healthcare. So brands that I knew here in the Denver metro area, and been able to get connections in other, C-level spots and other organizations. And we grew from there. And then I threw my name in the hat, or hat in the ring, when it came to workforce development about 8 years ago with the Salesforce program that we have here at BIT. And I chose Salesforce for two reasons, David. And one is at the time, 8 years ago, they were well on their way to being a global leader. They far surpassed that. But two is they are the most digitally accessible business enterprise application on the planet. So out of the box, Salesforce is completely accessible to us screen reader users.
Yes.
So that's why we chose Salesforce, and that's how we do accessibility. We partner with a leader from the software community.
Right. When that native code is accessible, it really helps everything. And I think that was the first time I became exposed to you, Mike, is when I was commissioner at MCB, because, as we're trying to place people in vocational rehabilitation outcomes, one of the things is you got to be able to use technology, right? And Salesforce is one of those things that can be really customizable. And it, like you said, it really comes out of the box, mostly accessible and things like that. So we would always gravitate towards that type of product. Tell us a little bit about where you envision it going, right? Like right now, the rage is all AI, and, tell us where you see WCAG going and this next iteration of technology and how it's going to impact accessibility.
Absolutely. So, well, in everything that we do, from call it technology, whether it's AI, tech stacks in general, everything that we do this for is from the employment perspective, the career seeker. So our academy, David, is completely complementary to folks who are blind, low vision across the globe. So we've thus far been able to get totally blind people on 4 continents certified in the Salesforce ecosystem. And on 3 continents, we've been able to achieve employment. So everything we do is from the employment career seeker lens, right? We don't just do it from like, cool, you have education now. But Salesforce is, and most people don't know this, Salesforce is the largest AI company in the world.
I did not know that. That's very interesting to hear. Wow.
So Salesforce is all in on AI. And their tech stack actually has less hallucinations than any other tech stack. And it's because all the data resides within their CRM, within their platform whatsoever. So they're able to control the amount of hallucinations and all that. And so once individuals go through our Salesforce admin certification, they can then, start to do a concept called certification stacking, cert stacking, and they can go get their AI certifications. They can get their app builder certifications. They can go into these different clouds and grow their career. And after 3 to 5 years with multiple certifications in the Salesforce ecosystem, you're a 6-figure individual. And you don't have to be a computer programmer to be successful in the Salesforce ecosystem, David. Like, you just have to be logically oriented.
Those are all great VR outcomes. I got to tell you that. So what can people do? People listening out there, you're a family member or you're a user yourself. What can they do to get to that level that you just referred to?
Sure. Literally the phone call I was on right before this podcast, I was on with Virginia Department of Blind Services. So love my friends in Voc Rehab all the way across the country. Happy to come on and talk with you and your teams about what we do. Because we're not chasing, here's the thing, David, we're not chasing Voc Rehab dollars. BIT, like, our model is very unique. Like, we're not chasing Voc Rehab. That's why we're able to offer our academy complimentary across the globe, right? And we're focused on employment in that model. So here in the United States, it goes from academy to apprenticeship. We're the only nationally registered apprenticeship program in the country for the blind, low vision community. Okay. And apprenticeships always get paid. That model from academy to apprenticeship was actually just funded $8 million by the Department of Education, and those dollars are safe to scale our program. For anybody out there, like, not only do we have complimentary training, we have budget to help you get that paid experience within the Salesforce ecosystem. And all we're looking for are professionally minded, logic-oriented individuals who are ready to up their game within the tech industry.
That's tremendous. And I got to tell you, when I was on the Work Matters Task Force, we were looking for the ability to make things apprenticeshipable. So it's excellent that you're really the leading program out there right now for people with visual disabilities and technology. It's great. So, all right, Mike, as we begin to conclude here, what is it that our audience needs to know about you and BIT and how they can really take what you have to become successful?
Well, just know this. So our team is comprised. So all of our program itself is both synchronous and asynchronous. And the synchronous component, so our instructor-led virtual remote classroom setting is all delivered by professionals with disabilities. So we eat our own cooking here, David.
That's excellent. So, nothing about us without us, Mike.
Yeah, that's exactly it, David. And so we have like 55 team members across 3 continents, all but 3 identify with a disability. All but 3. So we eat our own cooking here. So we're here for you. To get started with us, go to blindit.org. Blind is an unable to see, blindit.org. And you're going to see a link that says become a career seeker. And as a nonprofit, we have a very short, it's less than an hour, 3-step process. The first step is an initial interview with me. I still conduct 90% of those because I love meeting our community.
Hands-on, I love it.
Yep, I'm very hands-on, but it starts with just clicking on that link, David, become a career seeker.
Excellent. That's terrific. Well, Mike, send us those links. We'll be sure to put them in the description so that people can find that. And where can they find you online at bit.org?
blindinstituteoftechnology.org or blindit.org. And on my website, I make myself ridiculously available, David. Both my personal email and my personal cell phone number are on the website. I make myself ridiculously available.
Well, we appreciate that. That's good. That's a good practice. I think I try to do the same, Mike. So, well, Mike, thank you for coming on, and thank you and your team for all you're doing to really provide access to opportunities for our community. It's important. And you know what we say about work here? Really, it brings dignity, self-determination, and independence. So it's a good thing. We appreciate you, Mike.
Thank you, David, for having me, and appreciate what you all are doing, getting the word out there, because I know you're ridiculously connected, David. So thank you for letting me be part of this.
Well, thank you again. We're trying our best out there for you in our Save Visibility community. We continue to grow. So again, if you could please like, subscribe, share, comment, help us keep great content flowing for you. Thanks again to Mike Hess. Appreciate you. And it's David D'Arcangelo, another episode. I hope you have a great day. For more information about disability employment issues, please visit our website, disabilityemploymentsolutions.com. The Save As Ability podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our YouTube channel at Disability Policy Expert, or wherever you stream your podcasts. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your ratings and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by Pod Pro Entertainment. Save As Ability lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. #TheNewRadio. Again, my name is David D'Arcangelo, and I'm your disability policy expert. Until next time, thank you. I hope you have a great day.